Hello. Collaborative co-creation, Gail.
I couldn't believe it, Mynoo. It was the craziest thing. I could not believe it. I
Well,
met this,
you wrote the pipe as a master.
I must have done something.
Very good.
Woo! Yeah, that was wild. He's
Good.
like, what?
No, go on.
He's like, okay, so this is what happened. I have all these new students suddenly, thank God, and they're wonderful. And one of them came over yesterday, and he makes beats, and he needs my help with the singing. But as it turns out, I showed him my new R&B song, and I was not happy with the instrumentation. And he says, "Why don't you turn it into a guitar? What do you need? I don't hear piano for this. I hear guitar." And it had occurred to me, and he picked out the sound and we did it and it was perfect, and I'm thinking this is collaborative co-creation in action in my life, and then he said, "I really love your voice, and I love your voice so much that I'd like, if you don't mind, I'd like to sample it." I said, "Well, maybe we'll collaborate." I could not make this up if I tried. This is Mynoo. This is everything in life, in real life. It's not pretending, it's not fantasizing, it's here.
It's real.
It's real.
Great.
Thank you,
And
Manila.
the only question to ask is how much better can it get?
How much better can it get? Well, I know how much better I want it to get, so. Oh
And
my
just
God.
keep going.
Oh my God. Woo.
Fabulous.
Wow.
Okay, welcome everyone. Let's begin. So yeah, it's 29th of September. We have completed the pipeline stint. We are in the wake of it. So it's for the next 5 days. The wake is really strong, but at least you're not in the wave, you're on the shore, and just really you have the opportunity to reap the benefits and continue to reap the benefits of the powerful amplification effect of the pipeline on whatever it is that you intended for it to support you to achieve. So, Gail, the breakthrough, really a surprising, positively surprising, miraculous breakthrough with the students. Great, onwards and upwards. How much better can it get? And how much better can it get in terms of you achieving something which is beyond what you could have imagined, that will come from collaborative co-creation. And and you experienced a taste of that before the pipeline came to an end, and you saw the amplification effect of that. You experienced it for real. And literally, the moment you experience something, a cellular memory is created. And the cellular memory is that of remembrance that this is possible. And from that point on, you have to work hard to shut it off. You may as well not put your energy there. You may as well just go onwards and upwards from here. So it's pretty cool what has occurred. It also means, like I said, that during the time of this pipeline, if you went into a downward spin, you would be sucked down really fast as well. Now that the pipeline is over, that downward sucking is not as catastrophic as it was during the pipeline time. But because we are in the wake of it, you can still apply the amplification effect, except in the wrong direction. So it's really great for you to be more vigilant, more sensitive to where you are, what you are experiencing. So with that having been said, we are also in the midst of the 9 nights with the 9 Indian goddesses. And it's really powerful. The energies are very powerful. The energies are that of the sacred masculine and the divine feminine in perfect harmony, the yin and the yang. So there's a huge amount of surge of creativity that is rising for everyone, men, women, and other living beings also. This is happening across the planet. I mean, the interesting thing is, 1.25 billion humans is a critical mass. It makes up what is called in psychological studies as the 100 monkey syndrome. And we have more than that in Indians alone. So, as long as we anchor the intention of the festivals that are occurring this year, the energies of these festivals has an impact on the entire planet. So the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and the sacred masculine in perfect harmony, being anchored through the 9 goddess festivals this year, supported with the healing energies of the different colors that make up these 9 different days. I choose to think about it that way, and so it is. So we all have an opportunity to benefit from that. I could spend all of this time just talking about it, but it really, where you will benefit from this session is going to be through your questions and through your observations. So if any of you have anything that you would like to share or clarify or ask from the time that we have just come past, or you have any questions, we will go ahead and work with that. I know Meena ji, Asha, you've sent me your questions in advance. I would love to, and I will address those. I would love to first hear from anyone who has anything that you wish to share or clarify in the context of the pipeline experience that we have just come through. So just raise your hands, step forward, share.
Yes, good evening to all of you.
Hello.
Hello, madam. I would like to ask that what is like I am keeping fast these days. And during normal days, I eat food, I get a lot of hungry, but during what is the so significance about this fast that we are able to cope up with without food and in the entire day during the fast, and this is really good for health, madam.
Okay, so what is the significance and what is the special thing about these days that normal days we may not be able to fast, but we can, and how does it benefit us? That's your question, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, the significance of these days, when you have the power of the 9 goddesses, or power, any such kind of a very strong spiritual, energetic presence that is there, it is a great opportunity to dissolve any debris, to get rid of any form of undigested stuff that may still be in our system, or also release any form of toxicity. And how do bodily toxins?
Mynoo, I don't think we can. Oh, now we can hear you. We couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay. How do bodily toxins get digested? So digestion continues even when you fast, otherwise you'll be eating all the time. So digestion is a 3-part process. It's a process in which you ingest, you take it in, you absorb, and you excrete. And we ingest and we absorb based on the health of our colon, and we excrete. And if we are given sufficient time for the absorption and excretion to take place fully, then the next time we ingest, we absorb more and we become cleaner and cleaner. Now, what happens is we've just created for ourselves certain number of times in the day when we eat. And even whether we are hungry or not, we ingest in those times. The digestion hasn't fully completed. Now, what happens during the fasting days is, if you're fasting, certainly beyond 12 hours, it begins. And then the longer you fast, the deeper the digestion in terms of toxicity and any other energetic, emotional stuff that might be blocking your physical organs from working well. During days like this, like the 9 nights, when we are able to fast, because really what is happening is your digestion continues. We've collected a lot of stuff in our system that some of it is the food, from the food that we've just eaten. Other stuff is from, toxicity that might be caused by environmental pollutants or emotional distress. There's a whole collection of toxins that we have in our systems. So when you are doing a fast, which has got some of these ascended or spiritual energies that are a part of that fasting regime, what happens is their energies enable you to destroy stuff that holds on to toxins that don't serve you. So it actually feels good, right, Vineet? When you're fasting during these days, it actually feels good, even though you haven't eaten very much. And that's because all of the stuff that emotionally you may be holding on to is actually being digested. The lessons, the insights being absorbed, and that which doesn't serve you is constantly being excreted. And that's why you're able to fast and experience that feeling of feeling good, because you've added to your own energy, to your own intentionality, these other divine energies. Okay, so
yes, I understand now. Thank you very much. Thank you.
okay, you're welcome. Any other questions or any sharings from what has
there is Nikita ji, I think.
yes, okay.
Yeah, I think Nick is also there.
Yeah,
Before me, he raised his hand.
it's okay, Nikita, you go, and then I'll bring Nick in, and then I'll bring Meena ji in. Yes.
So, yeah, thank you so much. I missed some of your sessions because I was there in Mumbai and doing some other things. I was trying to start my, till now I have been doing everything in the social sphere, and the social sphere is such large that it just sucks you up. So now I was thinking of starting some kind of business, doing some kind of things, so that the amount of energy we put in to this social kind of thing, so if those kind of energy we can put into the business, then the motto with which we have come to you also, like having some kind of money. So the money just gets out of your hand, and what is remaining is just so neither this nor that. So I'm somewhere in the middle of the things where I'm neither being able to hold on to those kind of things and not able to start a new thing also.
So Nikita, your question is just so give me your question. So I get the,
yeah, I thought first
you've dedicated your life to social impact and social cause up to this point in time.
Yes,
and you're now saying that, okay, that literally took all of you.
yes.
Right? And you want to now balance it, or do you want to replace it with focus on business?
Yeah, I mean, it was 100% of my life, so I want to make it to go back to 20% social and 80% of business, and slowly I'll make it 50-50. Okay. So this is what it is. And the pipeline, I could not, I was trying to get more out of you during those days also, but I could not get so much because there was some other meeting going on at the same time. So sometimes it looks as if just now you told me that the pipeline kind of, it didn't give me as much growth as it sucked me. Like it was like
Yeah,
it still is going on. Yeah.
yeah, it literally is. It was just a time of such a strong energy force that it would take whatever your energy is, it would just amplify it massively. So if you had your foot in two cans and you were conflicted, it would amplify that conflicted feeling. It was that. So my message throughout was get clear, however big or small it may be, and be focused so that whatever you're focusing on, that can move forward. That has been my message all throughout this time. So I think one of the clarity pieces, because I remember when you first began, you were still very much in the social side. You weren't quite clear what to do. And it's really great to see you, sitting here with that clarity that, okay, I actually want to have 20% social, 80% business, and with the intention that it's going to get more harmonized as we move forward. So that clarity in itself is your outcome from the pipeline. All the cloudiness and clutter got taken out.
Yeah.
Now okay, I don't want to let go of the social, because when we began many weeks ago, it was as if you were burnt out from all the social impact stuff.
Yes.
that
Yeah.
you-
When you're saying,
right?
I'm so thankful to you for bringing this to light, because when all those things goes away, you feel that you're still there. I
Yeah.
mean, it is still in, but it's not. I'm quite much clearer that way.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you
There
so
is there
much.
is a lightness even in your voice,
Yes. Yes.
and okay, now that you're clear, it's going to be 20% social, 80% business. Now you can actually look at, okay, social, I know what to do. What I don't know is how to keep that boundary of 20%. So what I have to focus on the social side is not the social side itself, just what is the boundary I have to create to make sure that that 20% doesn't become 80%. So what am I going to say no to? And feel confident and good that I've said no to that. That is all that I have to focus on the social side. Now that gives you that freedom. Okay, social will be boundaried. Now I have to look at on the business side. What skills, capabilities do I have? Is this something I do with someone else, or is this something that I do with myself? Answer that question first.
Yeah, I've got that answer.
Right. So depending on what the clarity is there, then if it is something to do for yourself, okay, what are the talents that I have? And it's that is what you have. What is it that people out there want? There's a difference between a want and a need. People spend money on what they want. They actually do not spend money on what they need, unless they become very ill, in which case that need becomes a want, and people only spend money on what they want. Right? So once you know what my talents are, who are the people that I can really impact with this? Okay, what do they want? And how do you know what they want? What are they spending money on? That's how you know what they want. Doesn't matter what your analysis tells you. Doesn't matter. What are they actually spending money on? Now, then you go into how can I give them that which they're spending money on, and something more, because I have a very special talent, so that they spend that money with me. Now you're getting clear, you're connecting the dots about where you're going to show up in business. So this way, what happens is when you do create your business and you come out with your product or service, you are speaking to them about their wants, not about their needs. Right? This is the biggest mistake most business people make, where they start speaking about you need this. It's a desirable. They will not spend money on it. So many people are not impacted by the economic collapses going on around the world. I mean, it's like nothing that has been seen before that is happening in the world. Many of us aren't even aware of it. And those who are aware of it, we are not directly impacted by it. It doesn't matter that somebody says, look, the world is collapsing, you will need this to protect us. Well, it's not my want right now. They won't spend money on it. So you have to be able to speak about what you are offering based on fulfilling their want that they are already spending money on, which you will fulfill and you will give them so much more. So the value for money equation is there. So if you take a month, you take 2 months defining it, it is okay. Don't rush. Better to understand. The moment you get it, the dots connect for you, you're confident, there is no complexity, no confusion in how you communicate what you offer in terms of business. They will also have no confusion in really receiving what you have to offer by paying you money for it. The power lies, Nikita, in acknowledgement. So just even like you taking on and acknowledging, yes, you're right, Mynoo. Thank you for showing me this. That is just true. I am clear. Now, foundation, that's become the foundation because you have acknowledged it and it will continue to multiply, right? Now what we did here in my conversation with you is I've said, okay, you're not shutting off social. What do you have to do in the social? You don't need to think about the actual content. You're already doing it. You just have to think about how do I create a boundary so it doesn't take me over. Now you can do that, right? Then you focus on what is my talent. Don't even worry about outside. It's you who's going to provide the business. Then you go into who am I providing it to? What do they want? What do they spend money on? Even this understanding, people only buy what they want, not what they need. They just don't. And even if they did buy what they need, it'll only be very temporary. You cannot hedge your business world on that.
A very small portion.
Yeah.
Goes into the need.
Yeah. So you can literally split your days. We've got 7 days between now and the next Ask Me Anything. You can say, okay, between now and the next Thursday, I'm going to be very clear how I'm going to create a boundary on my social side. I'm going to be clear about that. I'm going to be clear about my talents, and I'm going to be clear about who I'm serving and what they want. Then let's see what other questions emerge. Ask those next time. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And
Yeah, I bring in Minaji.
okay. I thought we were going to just bring Nick in, and then I'll go to Minaji.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mynoo. I don't specifically have a question, but I wanted to make what for me is a very powerful observation. The last time we spoke, I was saying to you, look, I've just got this thing I want to throw myself into, but I need to pay my bills. And we talked about flow. If I was clear about being the flow, the boring stuff would take care of itself. And that was very useful, of course. It's always useful talking to you. But the observation I had is that I was really, really focused during this pipeline period about the new project I'm involved in. It was a really, really strong part of my consciousness. Bring a lot of focus to it, a lot of clarity to it. And I have been trying to arrange to have a session to discuss with this is a project that will impact humanity in a big way, I believe. And the creator is an extraordinary mind. And I have been trying to get a one-to-one meeting with him for a very long time. He's extraordinarily busy. And he came up and we had our meeting right slap bang in the middle of the pipeline period. I mean, the timing, it's like an astrologer saying you're going to meet a tall, dark, handsome woman or whatever, I mean, the timing was just insane. And I had a 4-hour conversation with the bloke, during which time he just blew my mind. And I'm aware that I have been seen, that I'm recognized, my skills and talents, what I can are really there. And I've got an idea of some of the incredible contribution that I can make. And what it's left me with, I mean, this question of how much better can it get, it's never been more opposite for me, but it's left me with, well, two things. The talk has sort of moved into a little bit more action, but more importantly, I've come to a place, despite my ridiculously feeble finances at the moment, which are crumbling on the external, but on the internal, I'm left with this incredible sense of complete certainty and absolutely no doubt whatsoever that this thing is going to come off and I'm going to fulfill my mission to do good in the world and do something really powerful. And it's moved from being a nice idea to complete conviction. And that happened during this pipeline period.
Yeah.
And what you said just now to the, sorry, I can't remember the name, the lady just spoke about amplifying it. And I'm just, in my consciousness, the amplification is just, it's almost taking place constantly now. And so I don't have a question as such, but I just wanted to make an observation that it was as if, the timing of what you've been talking about has just fallen slap bang into my life perfectly.
Yeah, it's really important for people to share as well, because it just makes you realize that, it's not me sharing this, I receive these messages and I share it with people who will take it on and make a difference in the world, because it's all about, the 100 monkey syndrome. Let's just get those 100 monkeys behaving a certain way, which is collaborative co-creation of coexistence, building what they're building on the foundation of this new world, and the whole world will transform. So it's really, really great for you to share this, Nick, and onwards and upwards. And, these phrases, how much better can it get, is powerful one, because it gets the universe activated. It is the motivational phrase for the universe to multiply. So we're still in the wake, Nick, of the pipeline. We just don't have the dangers that you have when you're in the wave, but you're still you can benefit from it. So literally just take it on. It's taken you to a new vantage point, right? You're seeing the world in a very different perspective, with a knowingness that money is a resource that is, that's just going to flow to you as you require it. And, what's going to flow out from you is your contribution to make this planet a place of pure love and joy, which is the magnetic charge for money. It is the gift from God given into our hands to make this planet a place of pure love and joy. That's the game you're playing.
You have such a beautiful way with words, Mynoo. I'm left spellbound by when you talk to me sometimes. Can I just ask you how long the wake is? How long the period?
About 5 days. 5 days. It's
another 5 days.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And I would just like to say, in the context of what I'm doing, which I haven't talked to you about, which I'd like to at some point, but the sort of confirmation in terms of amplification is also coming to that. And the words about, I shall be spearheading this in the UK with a few other people who are on the training with me, and the same phrases, we will be working in collaborative wisdom, collaboratively. It's as though the vocabulary from there and you, it's so similar. And because I do believe that what I'm doing is touched by the divine. And everything that you have brought to me recently, it just echoes that and adds to the certainty. So
thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
And the magic of all of this unfolds when you work it. So thank you for working it.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Meenaji, a different type of question now. So do come online so we can add you. Yes. So would you like to ask the question about the soul and the soul question that you had?
Yeah, I want to add very small question to that also. First of all, so many times I think I can be like you. Can I be like you?
I think your headphones don't have good battery. Maybe they're not Okay, talk now. Let's see.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Namaste to all and pranam to you. Well, this question which I sent you by voice message in the night, now I want to know, is soul more than consciousness or is just consciousness? And because like all the time I'm thinking we create thought, positive or negative karma with our thoughts. Thought is mind, body. So again, coming back to that, but then main question is soul more than consciousness? Or because soul doesn't get impacted. So that's what I am having little clarification I want from you.
Yeah.
Guide me.
So, I haven't yet got the exact phrase to use to describe soul, so humans can understand it. It's beyond language. But the way I describe it is, it is a speck of light, which is really divine consciousness. It's not our human form consciousness, because our human form consciousness is informed by our experience in this human form. The soul is a speck in the form of light of divine consciousness, which we have. So it is beyond consciousness, absolutely. And our consciousness, we have a conscious mind, a subconscious mind, an unconscious mind, and a knowing presence, which is really our higher self. So our conscious mind is very much driven by the thoughts that we have. Our thoughts are often defined by a perception that comes from our own experience or the experience of our culture or our lineage in the past, and any perceptions, fears, anxieties, anticipations we may have of the future. That formulates the thought. It doesn't have any impact on the soul whatsoever. The soul is divine consciousness. It just knows everything exists all the time. There is no time as far as the soul is concerned. So that's how I want to answer that. Soul is divine consciousness, which is timeless, which is eternal, which is indestructible, which is, nothing can change it. It just is. It's playing some wonderful games through expressing itself through our human form, which has its own consciousness that is very much a generation from a collection of thoughts that we have.
So if we have created any karma with a thought,
Yes.
with tan man dhan seva, that she was asking the previous
Yes.
lady, I'm forgetting her name with me. Yeah. So like we can undo that with our thought also, or we have to go through meditation or seva or repentance or something.
So in my world, in the work that I do, I say to everyone, I say, like, balance your books at the end of each day, right? Which is, so we can, absolutely, every birth of any human being can be the last birth you have. And then you can choose whether you want to come back as a human or just, gallivant around as a soul presence. So you don't have to be bound by your karma or bound by whatever might be written in anywhere whatsoever. The only reason we are born again and again and again is when we get towards the end of our use in this human form, we have lots of unanswered questions that haven't been answered. There's lots of incompletions, and this human form does not yet have that, does not have the vitality to answer those questions. So then the soul says, okay, discard the human form, let's find another, and we'll be born again. And then it comes back with the intention of answering all of those questions. So you've done deeper work with me in the journey into miracles, for example. And one of the things that we do there is I teach you the yummy, yucky experience, very simple experience, right? Where your body tells you whether you're feeling yummy or you're feeling yucky. So at the end of the day, if you can use, for example, the power tool of acknowledgement in any area that you feel yucky, you just go into that area and acknowledge, 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 acknowledge the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful. Keep acknowledging until there is nothing left to acknowledge. And at that point, you say, okay, I unconditionally accept what is. And with that thought, you can, step across energetically and stand in your source mastery as you go to sleep. You've balanced your book for that day. So there is nothing incomplete. Your body is in flow. It is feeling yummy. You wake up the next day, you fully experience what is there to experience. End of the day, acknowledge, 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 complete in yumminess. So you don't have to be born again. Now, when you begin this process, Meenaji, a lot of our karmic things that we have inherited, a lot of the karmic connections that we may have to our ancestors, to our lineages, that inadvertently or unconsciously we are carrying with us, they all show up when you go into this acknowledgement. There were times when I was starting to do this for myself and I realized it. For days on end, I would not get into yumminess. So I had decided I will go to bed when I'm feeling yummy, which meant I didn't go to bed for several days at a time because I was just allowing my own body to tell me more about what was incomplete. But once I got to that place, it took several days, and it took several days over several periods of time. I chose to spend that time on myself. But once I got there, now I just do it at the end of each day. And I have learned what I've learned. So when I teach you, and I teach other people who do deeper work with me, you don't have to spend the months that I spend in going from, wherever you're at to feeling that yummy flow at the end of the day. You can fast track that. Okay, but that is the way to do it. You don't have to be born again and again. Yes, there is a lot of karmic stuff because energy is energy. It doesn't, energy signatures remain until you actually give permission for them to be released out of your orbit. There is a way to do it and it can be done and it's not difficult. You don't have to know English. Anybody can do it.
Okay. And last time you mentioned about each goddess having totem, not Vahana. Vahana, I know which goddess carry parrot but do you want to say it now or later or whenever you are ready?
Yeah, the totem animal, our totem animal is our Vahana. It is our vehicle. So when souls depart, and I got introduced to this understanding when my mother departed, crossed over, and I saw the white eagle come in and I was like, whoa, what is this? And then I understood that, okay, we all have it. That is why the Indian gods and goddesses, everyone has an animal. So each one of us has an animal as well. And they are also our vehicle that take us into our light when we finally take our last breath. And they are the ones that bring us in, when we have our birthday, which is when the fetus is formed. So you just have to see the photographs of the goddesses and you will know who their totem animals are. And you will see, there's like you were sharing, there's a natural draw that we have to some of them, like I know people, American friends of mine, German friends, and they're very drawn to Durga. And a lot of like one of my American friends, she was like so shocked when she first saw the image of Durga on my computer, because she says, this lion, I've been dreaming about him since I was 7. And she says, I'm like, 65 now, and I still dream of this lion. So it is either the totem animal is equally powerful in a different way and supports that goddess energy with the energy that she's here to bless us with.
Yeah. During childhood, Kali Mata, they used to come and scare us. And I had such a phobia and trauma like that. But then once I read about it, Kali, what a power she has, she can kill demon. Now it's a very different and respectful feeling, not fearful feeling. So it's just like skulls and all. I thought why they have skulls, why they have snake, but it's making sense to me now.
Yeah.
And thank you for answering. Let other people also join. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Anushri, over to you. You just share.
Yeah, Lee.
Okay. Unmute, yes. Yes, we can hear you, Lee.
Okay, so I have a question about what are you seeing is the issue with my knees and hips? Because one of my goals in the MMB group was to be moving through my life with ease, and I know there's something that I'm not connecting with. Why my knees and my especially my right hip really are having issues, and my movement is challenged sometimes.
So if I was to ask you a multiple choice question and you give me your answer with regards to your knees, the fact that you're not able to move with ease with your knees, do you see that as a block, a barrier, or an obstacle?
Obstacle.
Okay. And with regards to your hips, the fact that they're not supporting you in the way that you would like to be supported by your hips, do you see that as a block, barrier, or an obstacle?
Barrier, I think, on the hips. Yeah, comes to mind. Yeah, just.
Okay. So this gives us a clue. Okay. And I asked you this multiple choice question. You can ask this multiple choice question of yourself in the future if you ever have this. So here's the thing, so you talked about an obstacle and barrier. So whilst the three words feel like they are the same, they have got a very different innate situation that gives rise to these words. So an obstacle is where we put discomforting distractions in our way so that we are prevented from living the true calling of our soul. A discomforting distraction would be, for example, where we have like 4 or 5 people that we feel obligated to, and we give them higher priority over ourselves. So it's not you don't feel resentful because you do love those people, or you do feel it's important, but it is it is discomforting distraction, and it is a distraction nonetheless. And it's a very, very good reason why nobody will ever flaw you for it. However, it prevents you from living the true calling of your soul. So I want you to examine in the context of your knees, what variety of discomforting distractions do you have playing up that you keep in place? Okay. I'll carry on with the hips part. Is that okay? So with the hips, see, you could have chosen, obstacle. Oh, it's an obstacle, Mynoo. Why are you asking me this again? You didn't. You chose a barrier, right? So a barrier is when we attempt to move forward as if you're driving a car, and we're driving a car forward looking through the rear view mirror as our guide, not the windscreen, but we're looking at the rear view mirror, and that is how we are driving forward. So at best, you'll go back to where you were, or you might even have an accident. So have a look in the context of your hips. Where in your life are you moving forward, or declaring that you're moving forward, but you're actually very cautiously only looking at the rearview mirror? Like every time there's a next step to take, you look at the past, and that informs what you do next. So identify where that is. Now, in your identification where that is, if you have the intention of, okay, I'm going to identify, and I'm actually going to understand what is there for me to learn so that I can then release the attachment. And once you release the attachment, your hips don't have to remain in the way they are, because the rest of your body and your mind, and your emotions have moved on, but physically your hips are being held because you are moving forward, but only looking at the rearview mirror. The moment you understand what that is, it's important to understand the power of acknowledgement. You can then literally, you will feel as if your hips turn around and they actually go with the rest of your body. With your knees, once you get what are the discomforting distractions, you choose to release those distractions. Now, sometimes there are such discomforting distractions. For example, I had this, which is I am going to pack my grandson's lunchbox and take him to school. Because I love that grandma duty of mine, but I'm to travel the world. That is my role in what I'm doing now. So as we started, it was great during the pandemic, it was fine, I could do that. But as the world started opening up, I was like starting to get so conflicted because I loved doing it. He loved doing it. And then I became like, well, how can I just suddenly stop? I mean, this is a very big change of routine for a child. How is he going to be impacted? So I kept doing it still, but all sorts of physical ailments started appearing, and I started using the word of obstacle. That's an obstacle. That's an obstacle. I don't really want to go to a place where there are so many obstacles. There are an easy way somewhere else. And I thought, what the hell? I'm using all these obstacle words. Where is it that I'm putting discomforting distractions? This was a discomforting distraction. I could just sit him down, his mom and dad down, and, share with them where I was and what is happening in my life and, the work I'm doing, and it will all be fine. I didn't need to keep it in place. You see what I mean by it's not a bad thing. It's just a discomforting distraction that becomes an obstacle. Can you already see some that I'm talking about? Don't have to share the specifics, but.
Yeah, I think so. I think some of it's around my work and some of it's around, I get the rear view mirror. I get the pieces around that with hips and yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Work with it, and I'd love to hear.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. And I have one more.
Mm-hmm.
The two words from that session.
Yes.
I'm having a hard time with logical. Kind of coming up with the sentences.
Okay.
I'm wondering if there's any sort of support I can get around that.
I can share with you what I did for me. So just so that everybody's on the same page, there is a boot camp that we are in the midst of, Money Manifestation Boot Camp, and Lee is a part of that. And the first session of that, I got the time conversions wrong. So all my American friends woke up at 4 a.m., 2 a.m., 5 a.m. when it was actually meant to be an hour later. So I came online and I offered the 2 power words for each one of them. And I suggested to each one, create a sentence from those words and then use that as a way of directing your life. So Lee, I'm just going to share with you my word, right? My 2 words that I got and how I work with them. Okay. And then see if it helps you. So my word that I got was spiritual sustenance. Right? Spiritual, okay. Sustenance, And then when I tuned in, I got that actually I was meant to look at it as one construct. So the sentence I created for myself is, I nurture myself with spiritual sustenance every day. So I begin my day by looking at what it feels like if I had that spiritual sustenance. already there in my body. Where does it feel? Where do I feel it? And what does it feel like? And before I begin my day, I will always ask, what is the one thing that I can do today to, add to the spiritual sustenance? And at the end of the day, I will ask again, what occurred as a result of having fed my soul with this sustenance, with the spiritual sustenance. So that was my sentence, right? So the first day I said, okay, what does it feel like? And I literally from here upwards, it's as if I just started feeling as if my body and my cells were smiling. So when I'm feeling this, that I've got the spiritual sustenance that I want, my body just starts expanding into smiles. I felt that. And then I thought, and then I asked, what is it that what is the one thing I can do today, that will actually multiply this sustenance? What I got was to be vigilant about and check in every hour what occurred in that hour that actually added to my smiles. So by the end of the day, you can imagine, I wasn't just energetically smiling. I had such a collection of things that actually did make me smile. And I realized how much we take so much for granted that we don't even notice, let alone acknowledge that there are things that happen around us every hour, multiple times an hour, that really do bring a smile. So now it's been like 2 weeks, right? And I'm doing this every day. You can imagine what the universe is doing for me. It's so happy. So I'm like getting spiritual sustenance from all directions. Okay, so look at it like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. That's very helpful.
And thank you for asking that question. Okay.
Okay, Monica, can you just turn on your camera? Monica?
Yeah, she's on camera now.
Yeah.
Unmute, Monica, unmute.
Hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hello, namaste to everybody. I've not been here for the last 2 weeks. I was unwell 2 weeks ago, pretty unwell. Yeah, I do that sometimes, I think, to myself. And today you've answered, this question about this discomforting distractions, which are very, they are so true. Actually I just wanted to tell you that, because you said that the pipeline is on, and since I didn't know, because I missed the last week, but today I have completed something which I actually started last year in December. Then in January, it was supposed to be completed like in March. And I got COVID in January, and I was, in the hospital and ICU and all of that and everything. And then I came back, and then I developed this brain fog, which is something that I'm the kind of person who remembers everything for everyone in my house, and I'm like, and my kids are telling me, Mom, you forgot this. And I'm like, oh yeah, I did, and they also can't get used to it. And I was very upset and very disappointed with myself. And I just want to tell you that I'm designing this online course dealing with, calmness actually, and resilience, or actually I call it practical spirituality. So, like working with the mind space first before coming into any kind of enlightenment, or I don't know, so it didn't happen, and it's a long period. And today, you just said that it got over today, and today I recorded my last video, and I am like, and in fact, the last yes,
item, yay.
yes, and actually in the last 5-6 days or 8 days, I had just decided that I'm not going to let anything overpower me, and I'm just going to just get out there, show up, and just finish this, now. And it's like, it was just like getting to me. So I wanted to ask you, like I'm going to be putting it out there online, and I have this group and people who've connected, but it scares the hell out of me, and any thoughts that come to you regarding that, any guidance that you have for me, because again, being on a spiritual journey as well as manifesting, which I now understand is very important, since I was not doing it earlier, because I was not aware of it. I've done a lot of free work with people, and I never really, all of those things are now quite resolved. So I understand the importance of money and everything and all of that. So I
So
sometimes,
yeah,
anything that you would guide me, or anything, any guidance that comes to you for me to take this, like, forward in an abundant, in a, prosperous way, that it will benefit others.
yeah. The interesting thing is, because we are not consciously aware, we don't realize that we are seriously helping ourselves in a big way. You said, how do I scare, how do I, so you said something like, something about the scare the hell out of me. It scares the hell out of me that, I'm going to bring it online. Well, that's exactly what you want, don't you? You want to scare the hell out of you.
Yes.
So that you're in heaven and you can bring it out.
Yes.
You're doing exactly what you want to have happen.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, but that's very true. But, just the scary part that, people would actually subscribe to it or take it or not take. And, I don't like these questions. And sometimes, as you said, that yucky, yummy feeling. So I didn't know about it, but yes, I keep transferring it. And
first of all, the fact that you've probably thought it, I want to scare, it's like the scare the hell out of me. I want to scare the hell out of me, whatever the phrase you use. Well, first of all, great. I want hell to be out of me so that I can actually really be. You're using the phrase, I did it. This is the point. We have it all. We have the answers to everything. So you've already made that declaration. The universe, scare the hell out of my system so that we can actually go forward. There is no hell in what I'm bringing forth. There is actually that calm and centeredness that people will experience, and it's practical spirituality. They don't have to go anywhere. It can actually have it all, literally, right? So that's one thing that I want to point out. The second thing I would say is, get clear about what is your intention with the course that you have created. And so what happens is, when we do this, we sometimes forget that we create something with a very specific intention, and that intention remains. But then because we forget that, we become attached to the intention that people should buy the course. Well, what if they don't? Your intention is not going to be diminished. Your intention never was. Your intention really was the impact, because you could be doing anything. You actually don't even need to do anything, and your life will still carry on. May not be as abundant, but it will still carry on. One way or another, it will actually still carry on. You're choosing to do something, and you're choosing to have an impact with what you do, and you have chosen this course as a vehicle. Doesn't mean you become attached to this vehicle, that it absolutely has to deliver exactly as I want it to. It's like when a car is made, it goes through many, many tests, right? Before it is actually released out as go on, buy the car, So it is like that. But if they become very super attached to it, they will never bring the car out.
Yes.
And So therefore, my advice to you would be, hold on to the intention for why you have created this. This is a vehicle that is going to fulfill that intention. And I am going to go out there and share it. Share
Yeah.
it, not because I want to sell it, share it because of the impact it has. And I'm going to illustrate that impact with real stories of people. So what I'm here to do is when I share a story and people say, well, how can I get that? Do the course.
Okay.
Yes. You will be sharing the sharings of the impact of this work, because what you are focused on is the intention of the work, not the work itself. Because if there is some tweaking that is needed, or if there are certain modules that require to be changed, if you become attached to the course, you won't even pick that up. You will take it as if people have, rejected you. But they haven't rejected you. They just want certain things delivered slightly differently. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
remain open to that by becoming clear in your mind. That's the intention. This is a vehicle, and I'm doing a test drive. I'm inviting others to do a test drive. And if they come back and say, oh, the wheel is out of balance, I need to change the wheels, I'll change the wheels.
Yes.
Yes. That's what I would say.
Yes. Thank you. That is rejection. Yes. That is another thing that I don't really now. I'm like, I work with it, and the intention, yes. Actually, I feel that my intention, and I mean more like a mission, is, that people don't, like, because I've gone through that journey of, and emotional and whatever, mental and everything, and I've come out of it. So I just feel that people should not suffer mentally because of external situations, whatever happens. Like, as you said, like, life goes on, but how we handle it. And so my mission is that,
exactly. And getting attached to a course, which is a vehicle to that mission, that says to the universe that, I just so hope that this course works out. Whereas actually, universe, you're my partner in fulfilling this mission. And let's see what happens with something practical that I'm bringing out. And I'm going to keep my sensory radars alert to see if any changes or tweaks need to be made, and I'll make those, because the mission is the one that I'm going after.
Yes.
It empowers you as well. And it empowers others who sign up to that mission. They may not sign up to the course, but they will sign up to the mission. More people will sign up to the mission, but that's okay. Several of them will do the course.
Also true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
But if you're not signed up to the mission, you're attached to the course, then there'll be many people who will criticize the course, and you'll spend your time getting distracted in, coming up with justifications, and you don't need to justify anything. What's there to justify in the mission that you've got? It's a noble mission, and it's a great one. It doesn't matter if everybody doesn't agree to it. So what? It's your mission.
Yeah. So what? Okay. I will keep that. Yes, that's nice. Okay. But okay. I don't know if in this, I just wanted to ask you, but or maybe next time. But I just wanted to know, this is something totally different, but your thoughts about twin flames.
Yes. So very, very different energies. So there are soulmates and there are twin flames. Have you read my B-book?
No, I haven't. I was just wanting to finish this and, start anything new. So I will, yes.
Yeah, do go ahead and order it. It's available online, Audible, Audible as well as online. And only because I talk about me meeting my twin flame and all that stuff in there. A twin flame. So here it is. We are created, our creator, as well as the energy of God and Mother Divine energies, the three energies come together and they create a speck of light. It's and that speck of light is going to be out there, become this soul being. right? But that speck of light is actually the light of the energy of God and the Creator. It is so strong that for it to be able to be born on this planet, it continues to travel like this everywhere. But for it to take the human form, it is too strong. It will disintegrate the human form. So it actually splits. And one of it goes into the human form, and the other one very rarely is in a human form. It often remains as a spirit guide. And sometimes it also takes another human form. So that split is called twin flame, because it literally is this flaming light energy that is there. And when it comes together, it's inflammable, and the flame is so strong that it literally can disintegrate projects, people around, all of that can happen. Very rarely are twin flames born at the same time. And if they're born at the same time, when they meet each other, it literally is inflammable. It's like you just can't understand, you can't believe it, but you've met someone who is just, it's just like you. And it's like, it's beyond, I mean, your heart connects, every part of you connects. And it connects so strongly, like you start a sentence, the other person completes it. It's that kind of phenomenal connection. And often when we look at it only from our human mind, we mistake it as a romantic connection. And the twin flames come together and they have a romance, but it's actually very inflammable. So, the other person is an absolute mirror of you. So the qualities that disgust you, that annoy you, the other person completely displays it to you. The qualities that you love about yourself, the other person completely displays that to you. So twin flame relationship, was they begin in a crazy infatuation sort of way, they often become very tumultuous and very destructive as well. So why do twin flames, why are they born at the same time? Why do they come together? They come
Is there
together.
some, karmic journey that they're completing?
No,
or is there something that is a bigger
there's
purpose?
no karmic journey there. They are one. We take this human form with the intention of causing something on this planet that is very unique to our own experience. Sometimes what you're causing and bringing forth requires the power and the energy of the twin flame, like the completion of your soul, which is when your twin flame is born at the same time. And really, you've come together not to become sexual or romantic couple. You've come together to birth this thing. If you can come together to birth what you're here to birth, then the relationship is fine. And once what you are here to birth is birthed, then you don't have to remain relating to one another. It often gets mistaken and it becomes very destructive. So it's a beautiful experience, like you have never experienced a relationship. And it is the most devastating experience, like you have never experienced in a relationship. If you get that you're here to birth something and you focus your attention on birthing that project, it's very different. And when that job is complete, mission is accomplished, you don't have to be together in the human form. You can continue your journey and you'll always remain twin flames. So that's what I will say. There's much, much more to this. I talk some of it in my own experience, in my own journey with my twin flame in my book.
Okay. But I would like to connect with you at some point about this some more.
Okay.
I have
do just connect with Anushri. She's the best person.
Yes, I will fix up with her. Thank you so much.
Anupama, can you just turn on your camera? Hi Anupama. Okay, Asha ji, if Asha ji have any question.
Anupama is turned on the camera, so come.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, good evening everyone and namaste.
Namaste.
So the session was so amazing. Like when I was listening about this twin flame, it was so emotional. I was aware about the fact, but I was not aware in detail what exactly happened. So my question to you, is more related about like how should we take decisions in our life, through our gut instinct or through our through our brain, or it should be more logical, more emotional, or gut feeling. What should be that? That is something.
I mean, it first of all, know that every decision is your choice.
Yeah.
Okay, always.
Mm-hmm.
So remove that I have to, I need to, I should, or I should not in making a decision, right? I have to decide this. How else would I do it? Well, I
Mm-hmm.
need to, this is expected of me. It shouldn't be this way. So, I can't just walk away. I have, I have to make this decision. Remove all of that, right? And ask yourself the question, if I didn't have to, would I choose to do this? Okay. And you will get your answer. And the way you will get and the way the decision you are to make is your body will feel yummy. If there is a bit of yuckiness in it, then understand, what is this yucky feeling? Where is it coming from? Right? Now, sometimes you may choose, and you ask the question, if I didn't have to, would I choose to do this? And the answer is no. And you find yourself in a circumstance where you decide, just for your mental peace of mind, you are going to do it. Okay? What happens? And then you do it. What happens there is you have still made the decision and you have acknowledged yourself making the decision. So that way, what you're doing is you're actually honoring your own worthiness. And you will find there is power in that decision, even though it wasn't a decision that you would have chosen to do, but because you've chosen it, despite that, you feel strong and courageous. And you actually feel yummy despite the fact that you've taken a decision that you really wouldn't have taken. But because you chose to make that choice for yourself, you can actually move forward with the lightness of being. Right? So, sometimes when I say, oh, choose it from your gut instinct, but a lot of people don't know what that means, It's like, well, what do you mean? How do I know there is a gut instinct? There are a lot of people who don't know any of that. But if I say to them, just ask yourself the question, if I didn't have to, would I choose to do this? Most people can answer that. And then if you still are going to choose it and go ahead and move forward with it. Anybody can do that. And I know the energetic impact of that is they feel that inner strength. So that's how I would say. Okay.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
So the flow of money has started. How to enhance it more?
Yes, by constantly acknowledging what is happening in the flow of money and saying, okay, universe, I love it. How much better can it get? Show it to me. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And allow the magic to unfold. That's it. Literally, bring it on. I'm ready to make this planet a place of pure love and joy. Let's move forward.
Wow. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
Arati, I know your question is private, so I will leave you a message.
Alenka she wants to ask a question.
Okay. Alenka, just unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hello.
First of all, I would like to welcome you in my new gallery. It's in the big church, like 500 years old, that was also closed by Napoleon Bonaparte.
Wow.
So there are my artworks here. So this is, so it's a really special place, and I will have some kind of manifestation sales here.
Wow.
And so it's in this time. So I was focusing, despite that was not, how to say, I said I would like to be treated this and this way, blah, blah, blah. But I see kind of a bigger picture why I want to have these artworks hanging here and bring specific people to this place and present them with intention of, you know, the horses one. It's like intention is to sell the exhibition to the family that is Slovenian and has this love inside for to carry on the tradition and not just selling to someone who would just put that. So this is a part of this manifestation, but there is something else that appears. Like the question would be, I feel a lot of happiness and love, you know, when I'm saying this manifestation we said about the loving people and so, and it really, people saying that I'm radiating, and wherever I come, people really kind of saying it with the words that I am radiating. But then it's like something else that some people misunderstand that. So I don't know how to kind of, in a polite way, have my space still. For example, I came here to this place and I'm staying a few days and everybody got to know me and so on. But I am losing my focus because everybody wants to talk to me and they don't want to go. And I'm like, I have my agenda too, you know, and it's like, and now it's, and I, you know, but I feel like, a lot, but still I need to be focused because it's losing then, you know. So what would be?
It's a very good question, which is, I mean, it's very, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Really acknowledge. I mean, you went from a phenomenal art exhibition at Ljubljana to this beautiful one here, and it's your works, which is fabulous. And you've really been working with your intention, standing in your source mastery, working the pipeline, working the manifestation. It's great. Thank you for taking it on in that powerful way. So that's the one thing. Acknowledge. I acknowledge you, acknowledge yourself also. So that's great. This point about, you know, when, especially now that you are the center of attention here in this gallery. So when people come and speak to you, and they feel very privileged at coming and speaking to you, and you're giving them the attention, that sometimes they may just not want to leave you. And when you have your source energy, it's infectious, right? People really love that experience. So how do you return to your focus? The one thing you don't do is feel any form of resentment that, oh, you know, they're taking me away from my focus, right? You have to learn how to break away from graciously in your source from a conversation that is going beyond the time that you would like to allocate to it, right? So my son, when he was 17, he became a dating coach, and he was a very sought after dating coach, you know, and I didn't know he was a dating coach.
What is that dating coach?
He would teach people how to date.
Okay.
Right? And I didn't know he was a dating coach. He wanted to come and have a gap year in India. He came to India, and I was renting a place for him because he was going to work in a stock trading company, in a brokerage firm. So I came over and I'm like, you know, they're using his computer, and I see all these amazing messages from people about what they have gotten from what they learned from him. And I said to him, what are you doing? What are these people saying? What have they got from you? And he said, oh, Mom, I run a boot camp. Do you want to come with me? And I said, yes, this was in Mumbai. I want to come with you. I want to understand what is it that what are you teaching these people? Why have they gotten so much in their life? You know? So we went club hopping. And he taught us, there were 5 of us, he taught us how you can go talk to strangers and in such a way that they get so excited about being with you. And how do you then leave them in such a way that they feel empowered? Right? And for me, I wasn't there to date. I actually had this problem. I would go speak on the stage, and I would, people would get very enthusiastic, and I would leave the stage, and there'd be a queue of people wanting to talk to me. And then I just didn't know how to stop someone to go and talk to the next one. It just felt very embarrassing to do that, right? And I totally learned from him how to do it in a way that the person is left empowered, right? And it was very simple, Alenka, which has always remained very stationed in whoever interacts with you, they are going to be left consistent with your source. And there is a reason why you're here. There's a reason why you are, talking to people. And whatever that reason, you just have to, at an intentional level, acknowledge it. And then set for yourself, the moment your body goes from yummy to yucky, it's time for you to very graciously in your source say, it has been terrific speaking with you. Thank you so much for taking this time and taking this interest. I have to go now. And that's it. Nothing, no big fuss about it.
Because then we start explaining, and and I'm start sometimes like talking my problems or my personal things, and I'm like, why am I even discussing this? It's not their thing. I mean, I'm just learning how to kind of just not explaining why. It doesn't matter. Nobody's explaining.
Literally stand up, or take a step, hold the hand if they'll allow you to hold the hand, and just with your heart, in your source, say, thank you so much. It has been great conversing with you, and now I must leave. And that's it. Okay. So that way you remain plugged in. At the moment you go into anything that is yucky, come back. That's the key thing.
Thank you. That was not only related to the gallery, it was like just happening like this 2-3 weeks. It's been like wow. And it's manifestation is just I really have to think what I wish for. It's just wow.
Yes. It's that's why the pipelines, these, like from 2020 to 2026, the divine plan is to literally create that energetic overhaul on the planet. So we have the planet exactly as it was intended, a playground for relationships. Collaborative co-creation of coexistence is the norm. It's a thriving planet. It's a regenerative one. And that's the game plan. So really great to be able to just stand up in your source without any justification, acknowledging that you actually enjoyed that conversation up to that point in time. And
I do. Yeah. No, I'm enjoying, and it feels like the people are inspired. Yeah.
Thank you, Alenka, for asking this question.
Thank you, Mynoo.
You're welcome. We've actually already gone past our time. Just checking if there's one last question, I can take that, and we'll get ready for Beyond Meditation. Okay.
Vinit, yes, Vinitji has a question, but you have Beyond Meditation in 5 minutes.
Okay, so yes, your question, Vinit, and then we will go into.
Madam, I want to ask what we mean by pipeline and twin flames.
Big question about twin flames, but pipeline was something, there are different times in 2022 where the energetic forces are such that you have an opportunity to intend something, and for that intention to be moved forward so fast that you actually achieve 3, 4, 5 different milestones, which otherwise might have taken many years to achieve. These are certain times where in this year, and we just had one such energetic sequence from the 11th of September to the 28th of September. I call it pipeline because this year is all about rejoicing and surfing the wave, and pipeline is a form of a wave. In Beyond Meditation, I shared a photograph of a pipeline master riding the pipe today. So you would have seen it, right? It's like the wave goes into itself, it forms a pipe. And that's why we've been talking about the pipeline. That time, 11th of September to the 28th, came to an end on the 28th. When you have such a strong energy, I call it the wake. It's like that energy keeps affecting us, and it's going to affect us for 5 more days. So what happens here is wherever you're at, it amplifies very fast. So good, bad, ugly, beautiful, wherever you're at, it's just going to amplify very fast. Best to have an intention and then be very vigilant about you vibrating consistent with that intention during this time. So that's my very quick summary of a pipeline experience that we've just had. We're going to have 3 more before the year comes to an end. Every year is an energetic duration. The 2022 energies come to an end on the 6th of January. So between now and the 6th of January, and I don't always have the dates in advance. I get them and I will share them as soon as I know. Twin flame.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a different discussion. I think I shared whatever I shared when Monica spoke about it. There's a little bit more that I write about in the B book. Actually, in the glossary, you might find a little definition of twin flame there. But that's another discussion for another time.
Okay, madam. Yes, I have bought your book, madam. It is really nice. And it's really worth reading, and I target to read it very soon, madam, entire book.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I would like to complete our Ask Me Anything session. If you wish to stay on for Beyond Meditation, we'll begin it in 3 minutes. And if you wish to leave, you can leave now. I'm going to turn off the video for a couple of minutes, just go fill up my glass of water, and I'll be back for Beyond Meditation. Thank you so much, and namaste. I'll stop the recording for this session right now.